Hi and welcome to episode 5 of the Glory Days, where Fiorentina are currently on a surprise title challenge. The original plan for this series was to potentially win some silverware in maybe 2 or 3 seasons, but already we're putting in a title challenge. In this episode you'll see us taking on Juve and our cup game against Salernitana. So let's get going. Okay, so after our loss at Lazio, we have played Sampdoria and comfortably won that match. Most of the players had a really good game. Krunic, however, was a little bit average in midfield. Torreira, however, good at the back. And it was a great way to come back after that really close game at Lazio, which unfortunately didn't go our way. So in the next game we're going to play is Juve. And this again is going to be a real test of our credentials against the top teams. Unfortunately, Juve haven't actually been playing that well, or maybe that's fortunately for us. So they sit in 8th. They haven't really been, I was going to say they haven't really been scoring as many, but I suppose they haven't been scoring as many as either us or Lazio. But they have been scoring the same as Inter, more than Napoli. So they're doing okay in that regard. They just haven't really been picking up all the points on a consistent basis. So that could be good for us, or they could come out here all guns blazing. If we look at how their schedules looked, they've actually drawn their last 2 games. One against Empoli, one against Atalanta. But you can see that in the games where they were expected to win against Venezia, they've won comfortably 6-1. Maybe they also could have a little bit of lethargy after the Champions League game. But if we look at the last Champions League game that they played against Porto, then they lost that one but came out flying after that and beat Inter. So you can see from our schedule, we play Juve, then we got our cup match, which is quite an important game for us, where it's squashed in between us and Inter. We have to make some real choices in this game about selection. Then that's followed by Atalanta and Napoli and Empoli. So we have quite a difficult run-up over the next few games. And that's really going to determine how we come out of this between this midpoint of the year. We can make some signings though upon this point if anyone wants to leave. So far everyone seems quite happy. So enough talking and let's move on with the match. So as you can see, we return to this game. So we have Biraghi coming back in here. Picao actually a good game in his last match. Martinez didn't have such games, so we're going to keep in Picao in this game alongside Milinkovic, Odriozola, Torreira in that deep lying playmaker role, Polgar in the Carrillo, Kashvili drops back into midfield, box-to-box midfielder, Gonzalez up front on the inside forward role with Sotol. On the left hand side we will change Sotol for Bonaventura and we will stick with this team, so Vlahovic up top. So this is our fierce rivals. We line up with the usual formation. Juve line up with the 4-4-2. Dybala up front, Rappi on the left. Them in 8th, us in 2nd. If we're going to keep the pressure up, we really need to be winning this game, but that's easier said than done. After 20 minutes, we've got our first highlight. Biraghi out. And Polgar almost gets it, but it's hit the bar. So far we're doing well. We pick it up again. Vlahovic had a chance to run forward, but he sends it back. Polgar out to Gonzalez. Sprints forward. We've got options. Can he get it in? He gets it in Torreira. He fires it in and we get our first goal. It's a great start from us. Hopefully we can keep this up. Juve are definitely come back at us at some point. But hopefully we have enough in the tank here to maybe even get another goal. We seem to be scoring a lot. It's up to Juve to really see how they can respond. Lazio gives a really tough game. So Juve haven't even had a shot in this game, never mind one on target. We'll go back out. This is a highlight for Juve straight away from the start. They're keeping the ball a bit better. Cuadrado runs down the wing, gets that ball in. We manage to get it away. Locatelli picks it up. Biraghi eventually gets the ball. Picao fires it away to Vlahovic. Vlahovic gets it to Gonzalez. He runs forward. Kashvili makes a great run. Runs out wide. Get it back out to Polgar. Kashvili again. Biraghi comes in. Vlahovic picks it up. Gonzalez. And we get our second goal. If it's not offside. There's always questions now. I'm sure it's going to be checked. And it's awarded. We're 2-0 up against Juve. He was well onside. Great movement again from the front three. And you see there Gonzalez having a really great game, considering I would say his form is a bit turbulent. Vlahovic again runs rings round the defender, and we should have had 3 there. I think that Biraghi needs a bit of a word. He's really, I don't want to take him off. However, if this doesn't work, we will have to. Juve again with a decent move here, keeping the ball in their own half. I'm happy if they keep it in their own half. It's what they do when they're going forward. It's going to worry me. Moise Keane picks it up. Gets out to Rabiot. Dybala gets it to McKennie. Gets it back. Oh, he really could have scored there. They now have a free kick. Dragowski picks it up easily. I think we've got to take some subs now. Vlahovic is played all he can. We're playing on Patagna. Biraghi's actually got worse after I've spoken to him, so he has to come off. Odriozola comes forward to Gonzalez. Can he get the ball into the box? He does. Polgar picks it up and he shoots and he scores. We get our 3rd goal against Juve. That is definitely going to signal my 3rd and final change. I believe I have to bring on Mali because he has been moaning about not getting enough game time, so he can come on and just give us a bit more energy in midfield. I think Polgar is probably the one that needs to come off, and we will go to, we are going to change to control possession just to reduce the intensity of the game. We have another game coming up, which we're going to have to be strong for. If we lose that cup game, we basically get sacked because it says any target you don't meet this season, our position would be untenable, even though we're doing quite well. They're extremely happy that we're obviously in 2nd place at the moment. We're challenging at the top of the table. They weren't expecting it. However, it seems like if we don't make it to the quarterfinals of the cup, then we could still be sacked. A 3-0 win against Juve. We managed to keep them down to only 5 shots, only 1 on target. I'd say there was 2 chances which they really had, which they should have put in the back of the net. We, however, made a lot of chances again. Had 10 on target. That's been the difference, really. But you can see here, we still didn't control the possession of the match. And that seems to be the way the tactic works for us. We play that fast, high-tempo style. We give up a bit of possession to them, but we make a lot of chances. And at the end of the day, we're scoring a lot of goals. It's working. So that result sets us up nicely for our cup match against Salernitana, which is going to be our next game. Now, Salernitana are sitting in 15th position. They haven't really been doing very well, but they are doing better than what they were expected to. They were expected to be stuck at the bottom of the table, 1,000 to 1. So the fact that they're up in 15th at the moment, above some teams who really were expected to have a better season, shows that they're doing something right. Okay, so we can see from Salernitana's schedule that they have lost 3 of the last 4 games, got a draw against Venezia, but they did beat Juve, Frank Ribery scoring on that occasion, and then they lost 3 games before that, and their last win was Spezia and Verona. So they're having quite a poor season actually, but doesn't mean they can't bring off a bit of a surprise here. We did have this issue recently ourselves in that when we played Sassuolo, we lost that game because I think we won 8 games here on the bounce without even conceding a goal, and we just thought that the result was going to happen by itself and nobody turned up. Everyone was absolutely awful in this game. If we have a look at this result here, everyone was awful. You can see Gonzalez didn't bother turning up. I had played him on the left, which is a bit unusual for him. Januzaj didn't turn up. Amrabat, Bakal was awful. Other than that, the back was sort of our best place, but even Vlahovic didn't bother to turn up. So, and they scored with only their second shot of the game, which is pretty miserable. And considering by our standards, we only had 13 shots and only 4 of them went out. That's pretty poor. So I'm cautious of how that game could end up. Okay, so with a bit of an eye on the Inter game to come, we have made a few changes. Igor comes in at left back, Martinez comes in central defence. We will keep Polgar Torreira, but Mali comes into that box-to-box midfielder role. And we'll actually, to make him a little bit happier, he's been moaning. Januzaj comes in, so does Sotil and Pitagna up front. So we have changed a lot of the squad. We did this again with Sassuolo. We lost that game. I'm hoping that it won't be like that this time. There is a bit of a risk, but these players also have to redeem themselves. I will not be telling them just to go out there and impress me. We're going to have to make sure that they know exactly what we expect of them. So we've told Mali that he has to perform good to get his starts in these games. Hopefully he will put in a good performance here. Okay, so we've had a lot of shots. Not many on target. The first 20 minutes, no highlight. Salernitana are obviously parking the bus. We've had a lot of possession. This may be one of those games where we have to try and think about controlling the possession a bit more. And really try to find a good chance rather than just making lots of chances. Well, that is an extremely dull first half for us. We have no highlights. A lot of shots, but obviously none of them were good enough to show. They got to know that I'm not happy. They got to get back out. If this is going the same way, I'm going to change. And we got penalty. Polgar is going to take it, and he scores. Is that the one that's going to help us to get a few more goals here? Maybe gives a bit of confidence to kick on now. What we can't do is concede straight away after this. I think that we have to, just before this highlight, bring off Milenkovic. He's looking tired. He plays every game because he's so good. We also have some yellow cards in midfield that I don't want to risk, so Amrabat's going to come on for Torreira. Martinez first touch, plays it to Igor, Sotil, gets it over to Januzaj, who scores. He made it look easy. There's a great ball in there from Sotil, who really hasn't had that great a game. With this game looking settled, I think we'll bring on our last sub. I think Odriozola is way too important to keep on in this match. We'll give Terzic a bit of run out. He also moans a lot about not getting game time, but he's struggling to get ahead of Odriozola, which is understandable. And Milenkovic can also play out there, and we're really desperate. Salernitana getting a bit of a attack going here. They play in a lovely ball actually, but the defence was great. Managed to get in there just at the nick of time to get that tackle through. Should really have changed from the gegenpress to control possession at some point there, closer to the end. It just gives a little bit more energy for the next game. It seems my fears that we wouldn't turn up were nothing to worry about. And we make a very small sum of money for that win, less than 9k. And we're up against Milan in the next game. This is going to be the big one. If we're going to meet that quarterfinal target, we have to beat Milan. So Torreira has hit a yellow cards limit and won't be able to play in our next cup game against Milan, which is a real loss for us. He will be able to play in the next league game. Milan have also just signed Joachim Low as their new manager. So they're going to come at us with a whole new impetus in that game. But first up, we have Inter. Our report for this game says they're a dangerous opponent who's going to make life difficult for us. Of course. We haven't actually played them yet this season, so again, this is us facing one of the top teams. They are doing quite well. They're sitting in 4th. Scored a reasonable amount of goals and will be a tough opponent. We're away as well, so I'd be happy with just getting the draw. To put the pressure on us a little bit more, Lazio have just won their game against Roma and are 6 points ahead of us. That is all for this episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're looking forward to seeing if we can keep up our title challenge, please subscribe for more daily videos during the week. See you in the next episode.